Imagine arriving at your town to meet your daughter and granddaughter, only to find the town you built has completely vanished, no trace, no explanation. This is the story of America's first permanent settlement that disappeared, never to be found again. By the late 1500s, Europe was locked in a massive race for overseas colonies. Spain had already claimed huge swaths of South America and the Caribbean. England needed a foothold on the global stage to compete with other emerging nations. Sir Walter Raleigh, a courtier of Queen Elizabeth, dreamed of establishing the English Empire presence in the New World Order, and was eager to gain fame, wealth, and adventure around the world. He got the chance to complete this dream in 1585. The first fleet was ready and set sail to scout a suitable land. They soon arrived in what is now North Carolina, but found it not good enough for settlement. They explored the region for several days and soon discovered Roanoke Island, which they described as most pleasant and fertile ground, and chose to settle there. They returned home with 2 Algonquian men, Manteo and Wanchis, to serve as translators, and soon returned with the Second Fleet, led by Sir Richard Grenville, and established a military colony governed by Ralph Lane, but it failed due to several reasons like lack of food, shortages of supplies, but the major one, violent conflict with local tribes. While exploring the new region, and contacting locals near the village of Aquascagok, Grenville discovered that a silver cup was missing. Believing it had been stolen by the locals, he sent a party to recover it. But when the villagers did not return the cup, the English decided something must be done to avoid appearing weak before them. So his men sacked and burned the entire village and destroyed the local corn crops. This decision began a series of events that divided them further. First, the surrounding tribes cut off trade with the English, which meant no more food for them, so Grenville returned home to bring back more food and reinforcement. The local further noticed that wherever the Englishmen went, the tribes would be stricken with a deadly epidemic, which was either smallpox or influenza, unknowingly spread by the English, but the locals saw it as supernatural, which further increased the animosity. To protect and lay his claim on the island, Grenville has stationed 15 men. But when he returned with supplies, he found the colony abandoned. He later found out that they had been attacked by an alliance of several tribes, some had been killed, and others were missing, ultimately leading to Grenville being forced to return to England. But they did not give up, and soon after approval from the Queen, the Second Fleet sailed, led by Governor John White. They were originally supposed to settle further north in the Chesapeake Bay, but they had to disembark on Roanoke Island in July 1587, due to lack of supplies. They arrived with 115 settlers, and among them were White's pregnant daughter, Eleanor, and her husband Ananias Dare. The settlement process began. They built houses near the coast and began farming, hunting, and with the help of Manteo, they were able to re-establish relations with the local Native American tribes. On August 18, 1587, Eleanor gave birth to a daughter, Virginia Dare, who became the first English in America to be born and baptized. But soon their supplies started running low, and acquiring resources from the land and the locals was still very unreliable. This problem was further exacerbated when the supply ships were destroyed by hurricanes. Having no choice, John White was forced to sail back to England in October 1587 to bring back supplies and reinforcement, and he promised the settlers, his daughter, and his granddaughter that he would return within a few weeks. But a war with the Spanish Armada erupted, which caused massive disruption in White's plan, causing delays after delays. He was finally able to come back in 1590, but there were no signs of the colony. White found the settlement abandoned. There were no signs of any bodies nor signs of fights. He panicked and looked for any distress signal. He had instructed the settlers to carve a Maltese cross if they were forced to leave under duress. But he found no such cross. He also found the houses were taken down in orderly fashion and were not destroyed, which gave White hope for the colony and his family. Soon White found the clue, the word Croatoan, carved into a prominent post of the fort, and the letters CRO, etched into a nearby tree. He became desperate to sail to Croatoan Island to find his family. Unfortunately for him, he never made it to Croatoan Island due to severe weather, supplies running low, and the refusal of the crew to sail in such treacherous conditions. He was again forced to return to England, where he soon died, never knowing the fate of his daughter and granddaughter. Several theories are floating around the mysterious disappearance. Some say it was a disease that wiped them out, some say they joined other tribes, and some went to the mainland. Some vague evidence has been found that the group may have dismantled and gone their separate ways. One theory suggests that they were killed by the local tribe, as claimed by Jamestown leader John Smith, who said that Chief Powhatan himself admitted to killing most of the Roanoke survivors. But some believe that the chief may have just been trying to intimidate the Englishmen. Another theory also suggests that the settlers grew so desperate and tired that they tried to return to England in small boats. But eventually all of them fell prey to the treacherous storms of the ocean. There has also been some evidence found that the Spanish knew that the English were trying to claim American territory and settle there, and so they were attacked and killed by the Spanish army. But there have been reports that Spain did not find Chesapeake Bay as late as 1600, and so it may not have been them. Recently, archaeologists on Hatteras Island found large quantities of iron flakes from blacksmithing. Since the local tribes did not practice European-style metallurgy, this suggests the colonists lived there for years, repurposing their metal tools for survival. They also found rings, iron tools, and a slate writing tablet alongside indigenous pottery. Researchers have also found European DNA in modern Native American, which indicates intermarriage, suggesting they might have been in Croatoan after all, but the evidence is not conclusive enough to suggest that it might be the same group, as multiple settler groups were coming to North America during that period. The Roanoke colony's disappearance shaped early American narratives, highlighting colonial ventures and complex relationships with native tribes. The colony and John White's daughter might have survived by adapting with the local tribes and becoming part of the American South, or they might have really been killed by the native tribe, or, if you want to believe the legends, something supernatural might have caused them to vanish. What do you think happened to them? Did they join the Croatoan, or is there a darker secret buried in the North Carolina soil? Let us know in the comments.